Welcome to Marketing Unzipped, the podcast that breaks down digital marketing into actionable, no nonsense strategies that you can actually use. Today, we're diving into something that's quietly disrupting the way we think about SEO. It's not just a trend, it's a fundamental rethink of how visibility online actually works. And that's Answer Engine Optimization, much more easily said as AEO. You might have heard this before in passing. Maybe you've asked what it is. Or perhaps you've noticed those AI-generated summaries, those snippets, where they deliver instant solutions without you needing to click through to a website. And that's exactly what we're unzipping today. What is AEO? Why is it important? And how can you start preparing your content for this fast-evolving AI-powered world? So let's break this down. If we take a moment to rethink how we define visibility in the digital world, because for the last 2 decades at least, SEO, search engine optimization, has shaped how we write content, how we structure websites, and how we compete for attention. But something shifted. It feels quite subtly, but now unmistakably. People no longer search the way they used to. And we're seeing a profound change in behavior. Users aren't just typing in keywords anymore. They're asking full questions in natural language, just like we used to when the internet was first invented. And they're not necessarily looking for those pages anymore. They're just looking directly for the answer. So this shift, it marks the rise of what could be the next evolution in digital marketing. And to me, AEO, it's not a gimmick. For me, it's a direct response to how search engines are reacting to this new wave of AI tools and platforms that are fundamentally changing that traditional search experience. So let's break it down. Let's grasp exactly what is Answer Engine Optimization. So at its core, AEO is the practice of shaping your content so you can deliver direct, contextually accurate, and easily extractable answers to specific user questions. It's not just about pleasing Google. It's about serving a new generation of tech, those ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilots, all of these different tools. For me, we're in the early phases of moving away from that philosophy of just ranking web pages. We want to think about how we rank responses, especially around all those types of long form, but questions we really have to ask at the moment. Where we see that process, the SEO, it gets you indexed, but AEO gets you quoted, cited, and surfaced, even without ever the user having to click through to your site. So here's a key distinction. When someone types how to relieve a headache into a search engine, they get a list of links. In an answer engine, it gives them the solution instantly, no friction, no fluff. If your content isn't optimized to be that answer, you can't be competing for position 1. You're competing for that position 0. AEO is about crafting content that isn't just discoverable, it's the content that's chosen. And this shift is the early starts of, for me, a big movement. Because let's face it, we're entering this age, AI. It's the words, it's the 2 letters I say more than anything at the moment. It will increasingly mediate the user's journey. If your brand isn't visible to the machine, it won't be visible to the user. But here's the upside. Answer engines reward the clarity, the precision, and usefulness in your content. The playing field is more level than ever. You don't just need to be the biggest brand, you need to be the most helpful. AEO isn't about replacing SEO, it's about modernizing it. SEO still matters and is massively paramount, but now it gains a strategic counterpart, a framework that recognizes the growing role of AI in what gets seen, quoted, and trusted. And that's why answer engine optimization really matters. We have to think about this process. It's an entire reflection of a much deeper shift in how people interact with information itself. So to understand why AEO matters, we need to look at 3 converging forces: user behavior, technological evolution, content saturation. So let's start most importantly with the user. We're all feeling it, the fatigue, the impatience, the desire for complete clarity. People don't want to click through 10 blogs to find one useful answer. They want immediacy. They want precision. And most importantly, they want clarity. We're not just searching anymore. We're genuinely asking. And increasingly, we're expecting that answer straight back. From smart devices to AI chat tools, the new expectation is plain and simple. Ask a question, get a solution quickly with no nonsense. And that's where we're seeing the consumer's mindset today. It's driving change throughout. So in thinking about that technology, Google's AI overviews, in my opinion, is just the tip of the iceberg. Tools like Perplexity, Bing Copilot, ChatGPT, all of the other ones that I can sit and rattle off, they're less rapidly becoming the new interface between users and the web. And they don't serve 10 blue links. They synthesize information. They decide what answer to give and the content they pull from. It's not always going to be the page with the most backlinks. It's the content with the clearest, most contextual, most extractable answer. And that's the magic of AEO. It's not about chasing rankings. It's about earning machine trust. And finally, content saturation. Let's be honest, plain and simple, the web is completely flooded. Everyone's blogging, everyone's optimizing, everyone's trying to rank, but very few are actually answering. AEO gives us a filter. It rewards the content that's clear, structured, and respectful of the user's time. If SEO is about visibility, AEO is about utility. In a world where machines choose what to surface, you need to ask yourself, are we writing to be found or are we writing to be used? That distinction, to me, it will define who wins in the next era of digital marketing. So why do you need to go and think about this now? Because this shift is still very early, but it's underway. Google is morphing into that answer engine. AI tools are woven into everyday workflows. And today's consumer are quietly resetting their expectations. They want answers, not journeys. And the marketers, the business owners who spot this shift early and optimize it won't just survive the change. There's a chance to lead it. We're so early in this process, it won't just be perfect wins straight like that, but actually you'll be getting yourself into the processor system and thinking, how do we optimize for AEO? So let's move from theory to practice. Easily defined what answer engine optimization is. We've looked at why it matters, but how do you actually implement it? What does good AEO content look like in the wild? And more importantly, how do you make sure your content is seen, selected, and surfaced by these emergent answer engines? So step one, start with the question. Most content today still starts with keywords, but AEO flips that on its head. It begins with the question behind the context of the keyword. Think about what your audience is genuinely trying to understand. Instead of targeting a keyword like CRM software features, AEO asks, what are the most important features of a CRM for small business? Which CRM features improve sales productivity? How do CRMs manage customer retention? These aren't just keywords, they're moments of need, and your job is to become the best possible answer you can. The second step, you want to think about how you structure your content for that extraction process. And because those machines, they don't read like humans. They look for cues, clear formatting, semantic hierarchy, and that predictable structure. So some of these tips here are, to me, good SEO practice. So it's things like using your headings, your H2s and H3s that reflect the actual question. You could easily start your answers with a clear 40 to 60 word summary. Follow up with context, examples, and stats. Use bullet points or numbered lists for steps. Add analogies or definitions to really enhance the clarity. We should always focus on writing for our users, and we want to make our content easily consumable. But we have to think that in the background, we're looking for AI's highlighter and how it's reviewing this page. So let's make it even easier. So step 3, for the more nerdier people in the room, it's schema markup. For me, this is one of the most overlooked but powerful AEO tools. It helps search engines and answer engines interpret the type of content on your page. So you can implement schema on each different page of your website. If you use WordPress, there's tools like Rank Math, Yoast, All-in-One SEO, or Schema Pro plugins. that you can work, but you can set FAQ schema for question-driven answers, how-to schema for instructional steps, and then just even article or web page schema for general content. For me, I'm just joked about being technical, but this is so strategic. Schema signals that your content is clean, structured, and trustworthy. Step 4, build the topical depth, not just the breadth. So answer engines love consistency. One good answer is a start, but a cluster of great answers, that's authority. If your topic is AI and marketing, don't write one article, build a series. What is AI in marketing? How does AI improve campaign performance? Best AI tools for marketers, ethical concerns of using AI in ad targeting, and then link them together. Create a central hub page that talks high level about each of these and introduces the other articles. Use your consistent tone and language over however you would write content. That's how you go from being a source of answers to a source of trust. Step 5, for me, I would encourage you all to think like a teacher, not a marketer. And this, to me, is the biggest mindset shift. AEO is about resolving uncertainty, not selling a product, not selling a service, not selling your solutions. So focus on simplicity over cleverness. Keep everything jargon-free. Anticipate follow-up questions. Just envisage your writing like you're trying to help your friend, not close a sale. And the result that brings? Content that earns trust from humans and machines alike. So if you want to optimize for those answer engines, start with real questions, not just keywords. Lead with clear, direct answers. Use schema. Build depth through content clusters. Write with clarity, not complexity. This isn't theory, and this is execution. So we want to touch on the role of AI in all of this. But not just AI in the abstract. I'm talking about specific class of AI tools, those answer engines, those systems I've mentioned tons of times like ChatGPT, Google's search generative experience, Bing Copilot, Perplexity. There are other tools available. I'm not affiliated to any of them. These are truly reshaping how people access this information. They just don't serve content. They synthesize it. They evaluate, interpret, and often summarize multiple sources into a single conversational output. And that right there is what changes everything. So traditional search engine, it gives you links, as I've mentioned. AI power answer engines, it gives you the conclusion. When someone types a question into Google, those 10 results, maybe a few ads, perhaps a featured snippet. But when someone drives straight into ChatGPT, they get straight to the answers, neatly packaged, multi-sourced, and increasingly cited. And if your content isn't optimized for these, if it isn't structured in a way that makes it easy for the machine to extract, trust, and repackage, you don't just miss a ranking, you miss the entire conversation. And now here's the nuance, because AI doesn't rank web pages the way search engines do. It draws from trained models, sometimes real-time crawling, sometimes API access, and increasingly from curated high authority sources. It selects based on clarity, topical alignment, and consistency. This means the days of gaming rankings through keyword stuffing are gone. AI systems can't be manipulated that way because they're evaluating meaning, not just all the nerdy metadata. They're trying to understand intent and provide an answer that best satisfies it. So when you answer for engines, you're not playing the SEO game anymore. You're playing the AI relevance game. So let's talk about the citations. So yes, those tools like Perplexity, Bing Copilot, they do cite sources, but not all the time and not always fairly. You could be the primary source of a key insight and still go unattributed because your content wasn't structured in a way that AI could clearly define, identify, and cite. And this is where that schema, formatting, authorship matter. The more trust signals you send through structure, through authority, through clarity, the more the engine will include your brand in its output. It's not a guarantee, but it is influence. And in this AI approach, influence is the new ranking. For me, the challenge in this is AI is not just a channel, it's becoming a default interface. So people are using it for research, planning, shopping, decision-making. Entire buyer journeys are being shaped by tools that answer before the user ever visits a website. If you're only optimizing for Google, you're optimizing Not quite for the past, but if you're optimizing for answers, you're certainly building for the future. So ask yourself, can your content stand out alone as an answer? Is it specific, trustworthy, and complete? Is it likely to be surfaced, summarized, or cited by a system designed to save users time? These are the questions that would define whether your content survives the shift. So let's zoom all the way back out. We've talked about what AEO is, why it matters, how to implement it. But really, we want to think about where it's heading. We know it's so young in this approach because to me, answer engine optimization isn't just a tactical upgrade to SEO. It's a response to something much bigger, a seismic shift in how people can find, filter, and trust information. What I can see rising is that age of instant answers. Think about your last few searches. Did you scroll through 10 results or did you read the AI summary at the top? When you typed a question into Google, now you might get a featured snippet, a people also ask accordion, an AI overview summarizing multiple sources, a knowledge panel, a map, maybe even a shopping carousel. And if you ask the same question in ChatGPT, for example, you don't get pages, you just get the answer. No distractions, no fluff, just delivery. This shift from discovery to delivery is redefining the rules of content. So what does that mean for us marketeers in the world? It means you don't compete just for position 1 anymore. You're competing for position 0. You don't want to drive clicks. You write to resolve uncertainty. You're not optimizing for people scrolling. You're optimizing for machines summarizing. Websites still matter so much, but I can see the future where they're not necessarily the destination, that they are the credible, trustworthy data sources. The experience of your answer now matters more than the layout of your page. As AI integrates into our devices, our apps, and our daily decisions, from what to eat to what to buy, content that isn't easily extracted or instantly trusted will be left behind. Because the interface has changed ultimately. We're not just browsing, we're prompting, we're not scanning, we're expecting. AEO is how we stay relevant, proactively, and strategically. So this future of AEO, to me, there's 3 key ideas of what it really looks like. So if you put a developer hat on, you could be thinking here that you're treating your website almost as an API feed. So your content won't just be read, it will be queried, parsed, and reshaped by AI systems in real time. Think of every page as a data set waiting to be tapped. My second idea is around treating answers as assets. Your most valuable marketing material won't just be the ebooks or webinars. It will be clearly structured, sourceable answers that AI can safely use and cite. And to me, trust as the new ranking factor, not by basing that on just backlinks and link building. We know how important that is, but on clarity, consistency, and machine confidence. If the AI trusts your answer, it will use it. If it can't, it won't. And the brands that will win, they'll be the ones that make clarity a habit, not a campaign. So let's just wrap this up with one final challenge. Are you creating content that competes for clicks or content that competes for answers? Because in this new landscape, being found is no longer enough. You have to be chosen. The leaders in AEO won't just win rankings, they'll win relevance. And in a world of instant answers, relevance is everything. So let's bring it full circle. We started by asking, what is answer engine optimization? And we've unpacked the answer. It's not just about traffic, it's about truth. It's not just about ranking, it's about resolving. It's not just about being visible, it's about being useful. So here's what you can do today. Revisit one piece of content on your site and ask, what question does this really answer? Could it be lifted, quoted, or summarized by an AI? Is it structured in a way that makes sense to humans and machines? If you start there and improve one answer, then build from that mindset. Because the brands that win the next decade won't be the loudest, but they'll be the clearest, the most helpful, the most answerable. You've been listening to Marketing Unzipped. If today's episode shifted your mindset, please do me a favor and hit subscribe. And another little favor, if you can share this podcast with somebody you think would benefit from listening, I'd really appreciate it. My goal is to help more and more and more business owners, marketeers in the next steps of their marketing strategies. And you'll make a good step to doing a good deed in the world. So until next time, stay curious, stay strategic, and remember, don't just optimize for traffic, optimize for trust.